Happy Friday to you all, and I hope it indeed has been just that. It's been a cold one, but I hope it's been a happy Friday for you nonetheless, regardless of where you've been today and how it's been spent. I've got good news to share with you tonight. Most all of the information and everything I'm going to share tonight, good news, entertaining news as well, and it's a good way to go out on, especially here as of late. And I'll get to our top story in just a few moments. And with the exception of a few follow-ups, our only story tonight, talking with a local man who's down in Nashville, and I hope is celebrating at this hour after the release of his first album at midnight last night and this morning. I've enjoyed it today immensely. If you've been through Sagersville, you may have heard it playing on our speakers on top of the building, but it's been a nice day to listen to Mr. Ricky Conley's new album, and I'll share that with you again in part and with him in just a few moments. A few things of news, however, to discuss before we get there. I do, first and foremost, want to take a moment, I am so happy to do so, to let everyone know, in case you haven't heard, that another student in McGoffin County from that bus crash has gone home. And there might be at least one and maybe two more getting ready to if they haven't already. Now, that does not mean that these kids do not have a long recovery in front of them. If you got yesterday's edition of the Sagersville Independent, the families graciously allowed us to identify them and get you caught up to date on their conditions. And just in what I have learned today, in speaking either with the families or with family of the family, so to speak, but very close, while there is still a long road to go, and still some children very seriously injured and in serious condition, all have improved to some degree since I saw you last, and again, one has gone home. And that is indeed good news, and I hope I have more good news on that front when I see you back here next week. Now, two other things to make mention of. No school, of course, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. That's already on schedule for, of course, Thanksgiving. Can't believe it's here. The only other news update for tonight is that we have closely been following the hearing which was held today in regards to Mayor Pete Shepard challenging the residency of Mayor-elect Stanley Howard, bringing documents and maps today into the courtroom before Circuit Judge Kim Childers, who heard the case. Just a brief summary, I can tell you this, as far as Shepard and his defense and his attorney, there were multiple maps, all which indicated that Howard's residence sat well out of the city limits, to which he also attested on stand, that being Howard. At the same time, Howard's attorneys showed very well that he paid city taxes on a number of properties, including that at least piece of property and two of the three vehicles I think he owns for a number of years. And with that information in mind, Judge Childers gave both sides until the 28th to submit any and all briefs. I think up to 5 additional pages was the limit, and she said that she would make her ruling on or by the 30th or end of this month. So nothing new except for that to add to that report tonight. So with that said, let's take a break. Let's take a brief one, and when I come back, it's all entertaining news from here. I've been looking forward to this interview for a couple of weeks doing it, and all day since I put it together after interviewing Ricky Conley last night. Stay tuned. Santa's coming, and he's bringing tires and wheels, and he knows just where to get them. Conley Tire in Staffordsville next to Foothills and ConleyTire.net. Come in or click and save $100, even $200 on a new set of Goodyears and other big discounts on all the big names. They've got wheels, tires, lift kits, and all the service and repairs you need, and 6 months no interest is perfect for the holidays. Conley Tire in Staffordsville. The reassurance of getting your medications and over-the-counter needs at Sagersville's oldest and most trusted pharmacy, the convenience of curbside pickup and call-ahead service, and the fact that you can walk in, order to go, or sit down and get gourmet quality hot fudge brownies, nachos, shakes, coffees, hot dogs with homemade sauce, desserts, and more makes it more than your hometown Good Neighbor Pharmacy. It's a destination in downtown Sagersville, Frazier's Prater Drugstore. It doesn't get any sweeter than that. Banking from home or on the go has never been easier and will forever be an important and necessary part of life. And Sagersville National has been and will always be at the forefront of meeting and exceeding your financial needs and giving you the safest and most worry-free online and mobile banking so you can worry about the important things, like what's for dinner. They're there when you need them at the main and branch locations of the Sagersville National Bank. It's no surprise the Christmas season has arrived at the Seasonal Shop. It is your one-stop shop for decor, gifts, apparel, and so much more. New arrivals hitting the floor every day in all areas of the store. So whether you're going to a holiday party or school or a work day, they have you covered. Beautiful coats, dresses, and sweaters that are perfect for these colder temperatures. And they've got a large selection of fun Christmas shirts and sweatshirts and the accessories, of course, that you need to match. New Doodles by Rebecca Toppers are in stock with added bows for a little more custom look. And if it's gifts you're looking for, they have something for everyone. Kentucky Mountain coffees, festive mugs, and many sweet add-ons. And dips and cheese ball mixes make the perfect hostess or teacher gift. So come in soon and let the ladies at the shop help you check off your gift list. That's Fraser's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop in downtown Sagersville.
Car wrecks, truck wreck, disability, workers' comp, slip and fall,
wrongful death.
Your case matters to you.
Your case matters to us. Contact McFarland Tinker Law Office. With our combined experience of over 58 years, we're here ready to work for you.
Gotta be honest, I love doing this interview just as much as I love listening to his music all day long. It's been in our studio and offices all day long since I got here today, and like I said, even playing it over the speaker system outside for downtown Sagersville motorists and those walking through. I don't know if Ricky Conley will agree completely, but I'd say that he has reached the level he has in his musical career in a pretty short order of time. He first picked up a guitar before he was a teenager, and it wasn't until years later, with some encouraging words that kind of pushed him a little, that he now has his first studio album out, Calico. It hit the airwaves at midnight last night on any streaming service. Anywhere you can get music, you can get his album. And in full disclosure and honesty, I think that you will think it's a winner. So let's talk with Ricky in Nashville, as I spoke to him just hours ago, and then let you hear some of his album for yourself. Like I said, Ricky Conley picked up a guitar at a young age, but there was a big gap between then and the next time he really started to take it serious, and in a few short years thereafter, well, this is the result. Calico by Ricky Conley, out today, after cutting his teeth here locally and in Nashville for the past number of years, where he says he writes every day and is already working on his next release.
Bulletproof, waking up in a fiery house, what you thought you'd figured out burns in front of you. All the pawns in a pretty row, jaded strangers traded for someone you used to know. Sometimes your stars refuse to shine, and I'll take your hand and I'll show you mine. Nothing you'll miss, I promise this. You won't be lonely.
I learned to play the guitar from my neighbor, Mike Cole, whenever I was like 11 years old. And I picked it up super easy. Like when I picked up the guitar, I learned it in a night. I could play 3 or 4 chords before, you know what, I could put together songs. Then I kind of quit playing. I kind of plateaued and I stopped. And then, man, I was probably like 27, 28. Well, no, I guess I was about 30. Well, yeah, 29 or 30. And one of my friends, we were just playing around singing Alice in Chains. You know, you probably,
Oh, yes.
you know, big grunge fan. And he was like, dude, you sound really good. You know, you ought to start singing. And man, that's all it took, you know. And honestly, and I respected him a lot. I loved him. You know, he's one of my best friends all my life. Justin Thatcher, actually. You know, again, we're talking on local, so everyone knows these names. And that started it. And then, man, I just, like I do with about everything, I took off full force. You know, I started playing. I played the SIP Theater. You know, everywhere around our home that you can play that's worth playing, I played it in those 2 years after. And I just kept going, man. And I started driving to Nashville kind of on my own, didn't know a soul. And I got in at Douglas Corner Cafe with Donnie Winters of the Winters Brothers Band. And man, Garth Brooks, Blake Shelton, Reed McEntire, you name them, they came through there. And like I was telling you earlier, everything down here was magical because it's Nashville. You know, it's Nashville. Everyone knows that name. Hank Williams and Patty Loveless, Loretta Lynn, Chris Stapleton. You know, we got some big bragging rights back home. People ask me, they're like, "So where are you from?" The ones that I haven't met here, and I just tell them the truth. Tyler Childers, Sturgill Simpson, Chris Stapleton, Loretta Lynn, the kid that won American Idol. He's very new.
Yeah.
You know, we are talented people. You know, everything that we do back home, there are people that are great at it. But when it comes to music, it's like it's I don't know. It's just literally in their blood.
Yeah.
And I didn't come from a musical family. My dad don't play or sing, and my mom don't play or sing. I have a few uncles that do, but you know, it's kind of an outcast thing, really. I don't know. I'm Irish Indian, so it's an odd mixture vocally. And but man, I came down here and I traveled it a few times. And anybody that might see this, do the same. You know, Donnie Winters told me, travel it first. Don't just move up and move. So I came like 4 or 5 times, and then I played Douglas. Douglas got shut down during COVID, and it broke everybody's heart here in town. Garth, there's a bunch of them, like bought up all of the memorabilia that came from it. And so I got to play there. That was a huge dream for me, to get to play Douglas Corner Cafe. That's the place where the song The Dance, was pitched by Tony Arata to Garth Brooks, right there on that stage. And so it's super historical. So I went from there, man, and then there's a place called The Local here. Everybody who's anybody plays there. And I know people aren't as interested. I've learned this. People love music. They love it, and they want to hear it and everything. But when it comes to making it and the songwriting stuff, it's boring. You know, nobody wants to hear that. And so down here, everybody wants to hear that. That's all they do. That's all they're talking about. That's all they're thinking about, is writing the next song. And man, I just started playing The Local and got in with some great people there. Terry Joe Box, Jeffrey Reed. Jeff owns it. And Terry Joe has written a bunch of hits. For me to sit here and name them would be just naming popular country radio for the past 5 years. And man, it just went from there. And then I met some people, Ben Miller from Trey Lewis's band, and like I was telling you earlier, Riley Green. Ben played with Riley for several years. And I just put this album together, man. This is really the first songs that I ever wrote. And not only that, it was the first songs that were accepted here and back home. You know, when people hear these that have been following me at all, like you mentioned Hard Times earlier, they're going to know them, you know, immediately. I've been playing Hard Times for 2 years. I wrote it on the way to Alan Boland's show over on Q95 FM. So I'd written half of it, and then I got over there and finished the rest of it, and then sung it on the radio that night without me. So that's Hard Times. That's the one you said you like the most.
Grab all your happiness and your cheer. Now is the time your best plan should be made. For your true self-esteem's giving wings to your fears. Hey, hey, what do you know? Any more than yesterday, it don't seem to show. Hey, hey, the scars in your eyes, it's what the truth's worth today when tomorrow's a lie. So a few years ago by as fast as they've went, got your time and your money.
And going back to my opening statement, Ricky says, yeah, it may have been a relatively quick turnaround considering the time he's lived and traveled to Nashville, but he credits the stars all lining up and some other things in his favor as to it working out to the point that it has, and Calico being the first result as of midnight this morning.
It has been, and man, I'll be honest with you, and I know it's almost cliche to say this, especially back where we're from, but like, God has been so huge in what I've done. There's things looking back on that you couldn't have planned. No amount of money could have bought you. Rubbing a shoulder with somebody, ending up where you're living, because down here, rent is insane. Like, when I say insane, I mean it's insane. You think it's bad back home? It's insane. So many things have turned in my direction, and like, for me to name the people that are playing on this album with me. So, I tell everybody, like, it's not me playing every instrument. Down here, you write the song and you get the song structure together. You walk in and a bunch of pros sit down and they cut their own instrument, and you'll kind of guide them on where you want them to go with it. But if I name the people that are playing it, you wouldn't know their names, but if I named who all they played with, you'd be like, wow. Like, these are the hired guns, in Nashville and I just happen to be friends with them, so, it's kind of like one of those things where it's work and pleasure mixes. But, you got to hear some of it there. I'm proud of it, I can't say that any of my music or my songs that, like, I'm just not that guy that comes up and like, hey, I just wrote the greatest song in the world. I can't. I don't think of it that way, really. If it does good, I hope it does, because that means I get to keep doing it. You're creative, you know what I mean. If you do it and people like it, you can keep doing it. Yeah. And I just hope for that, really. I hope people enjoy it. And again, I know a lot of people are going to know it, but when you record an album, it's such a beautiful thing. We forget the term record is used so much that it's almost just doesn't have a lot of meaning now. But like, to make a record of something. So, it's a recording, it's a record of a time in my life throughout a couple years, really. I wrote all those songs within a couple years. Some I wrote in 5 minutes and some I wrote over a year, But, I don't know. I'm excited to see what people think about it.
Never been good at trying. Lately gotten good at crying and saying goodbye. Oh, I spent too much time alone when I should be heading home. The man I become what they recognize.
This is certainly a grassroots type thing, I believe that, like, I'm in the old-fashioned belief of art of, like, if it's good and people like it, they will listen to it, they'll tell their friends. It's no different than any other medium. Video, now has taken over, even pictures and everything, look at Instagram. But, like, if you're sharing things and it's pretty good and you're being honest, I can say all of those songs were dead honest. Like, I wrote them, some of them I wrote in pure heartache, and some of them I wrote when I was happy. I'm not the guy to sit down really and be like, I need a song, so I'm just going to, hammer a song now. I actually write them when I feel like I need to. I write every day, but I don't know. I think there's something magic. I always thought. Tom Petty, Bob Dylan, I've heard a lot of them speak about it. That there's something magical that comes out of when you almost get a connection. You'll either be heartbroken or whatever, name the emotion, and you'll get this connection almost like an antenna into somewhere else, and it just rolls out, and honestly, most of those songs on that album, all of them, came out that way. Moves, I wrote it, it's a sad world. It's a lot easier to write a sad song, you know. I mean, it just is. You're a newsman. My God, you know, you know all too well. You know, but so there's like, you know, I tried to make a few upbeat ones on there.
Every time I see that number on the phone, it's gonna be cool. The sky ain't always blue. Storms keep you point of view. Keep getting higher, the clouds roll through. Moves.
You know, honestly, to be honest, I'm already working on the next stuff. You know, like you know, again, back to the making the music. You don't know how many times I've heard these songs. You know, like in the mixing stages and the mastering stages, you listen over and over and over. And a funny thing, I put you maybe can relate to this. I don't know. Some really young people might not remember it, but the cowbell. You know,
Oh yes.
more cowbell.
Oh yes.
We literally put a cowbell in, let's see, it's Baby Blue, just for that reason. You know, there was a cowbell in the percussion lineup, and I said, I want that cowbell in there. And they were like, are you sure? And I was like, more cowbell. I have a video of the drummer doing it, and he is wailing, hips moving on that cowbell during that. If I never saved one video from any of it, it was that one. So that was kind of, you know, I thought that was funny.
That's cool. That's super cool.
Yeah, you'll hear it. Like, you know, if you didn't, you probably already heard it. You just didn't realize.
No, I did not, but I will hear it after this interview's over, I promise.
Yeah, that's a real live cowbell. But, you know, man, right now, honestly, and like people like you, man, like, you know, talking to me and you know, giving me a platform, you know, it's a beautiful thing, man. It really is. Because it's so hard. You know how it is in media. It's hard, man. It's the hardest thing in the world you'll ever do, but it's one of the most fulfilling things, other than family, that you'll ever do. You know, and like when people support you, even the smallest amount, it's like, especially if it's genuine, you know, you, Alan, you know, there's a few back home that I know people are going to be like, you didn't say me, but you know, just right off the top of my head, like, you know, Alan's the Q95 FM, and Lord, you at Your News Today. God, I've watched that my whole life. I have, man. But yeah, that's, you know, honestly, that's, I don't think I'm leaving anything out. I mean, obviously I could go on about it forever, but now it comes out Friday, and I hope everybody listens to it, you know.
Well, I'll promise you this before we wrap up, and we're going to have to go. But I know a couple things I'm going to promise you real quick. We're going to talk again soon. I can't promise that everyone who hears it is going to be moved the way I was, but I'm pretty confident in that. But I can most definitely promise you that it'll be playing out of the speakers that are attached to this building come Friday morning for everyone passing through downtown Syersville to hear. So I'm looking forward to it more than you know, Ricky. I more than you know. Can't wait to get my hands on the rest of it. Appreciate the 3 tracks you advanced me. Appreciate the time you sat down with me this evening. This has been a great interview. It's been a long time coming, as I said earlier, and I want to thank you for your time and your inspiration. And brother, we will talk. We'll talk soon. And hopefully, maybe, I don't think so with all this going on, maybe in Nashville. But, you know, maybe I'll try to get back there sooner than later.
That would be awesome. Man, you don't know how much I appreciate you, and you don't know you've just made my week, my month, you know. That means the world to me. They were playing it in a dollar store back home here a while back, and I was like, I never would have thought that would have meant anything if someone would have told me that. but it meant so much. It floored me. I was like, you were playing my songs in the car store? And they were like, yeah. But anyway, honestly, man, you're a gigantic check mark, man, on, getting to talk to someday and being interviewed by, again, your news today has meant as much to me all my life growing up as any of them. And really, man, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate it. And to everyone in Sayersville, man, like really, everyone, I mean, y'all know who you are. Like really, if you think, I'll never forget it, how nice, how good everyone's been, and again, man, can't thank you enough, dude. It's been such a pleasure talking to you.
I can't find the words to say, already know anyway. Tell you if I died today I wouldn't leave you. My hand still shakes while I sleep, thinking you're not there to keep. Man, I run from the past, it haunts me. I start to learn while you were gone. I transform and move right on. Burn out, die, be reborn, what I do. It was right here the entire time, waiting in a patient mind, in a way that I just can't define, to amuse you. Baby blue, I miss you too, but you chose to leave in my darkest time just a little too soon. Now I don't hate you, pray for you. Can't you see I couldn't be what I become so soon? Baby blue, it's okay that you moved on far too soon to see the wrong, pushing away the only one who understood you. I know sometimes you feel alone. While you ran, I turned to stone. It's okay, I'm not a home to turn to. I hope that you're not afraid. Hear me speak, what would you say? Here and now, if I were in front of you. Baby blue, I miss you too. You chose to leave in my darkest time just a little too soon. No, I don't hate you, I even pray for you. Can't you see I couldn't be what I become so soon?
And Ricky, thank you again. I appreciate your time and you speaking with me and allowing me to do the story. And that's I'm going to check that one off of my list as well. Appreciate it, and then I look forward to talking to you. And I'm sure undoubtedly it will be sooner than later. So, with that said, one short order of business before I leave you, and it comes up in just a second.
The Appalachian Wireless Holiday Sale is going on now. Appalachian Wireless has a holiday sale that will make everyone's holiday merry and bright. From now till the end of the year, visit us in store or reserve online for an unbelievable sale on all the hottest devices. Deals like the iPhone 14 for just $99.99 or the iPhone 12 for just 1 cent. We know what you want for the holidays because we are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
There's just no denying it. Some things you crave all year long, but some of those things you crave even more when the leaves start to change and fall and there's a chill in the air. And our famous fresh-baked chicken pot pies are at the very top of that list. They're a warm, tasty, delicious snack or a meal in its own perfect little box at your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe.
At Golden Law Office, our attorneys previously represented the nation's largest insurance and trucking companies, handling cases involving serious personal injury and death. We know their strategies, how they will defend the case, and what factors drive large settlements. The attorneys at Golden Law Office can use this inside knowledge to ensure your case is handled effectively and aggressively. Hiring Golden Law Office provides you with a strategic advantage. Call Golden Law Office today.
Parkway Pharmacy, as always, promises the quickest service with the very best care and prices, and to always have someone there to talk to when you have a question. With 3 pharmacists, curbside, drive-through, and call-ahead service. Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville, 349-4400.
Where you can always talk to a pharmacist when you need one.
There where every day starts, it's made, and it ends. From hitting the floor to hitting the road and back, your feet carry the day's duties. And if you're hurting from what might be a work or sports or stress-related fracture you don't even know about, diabetic, or that all too often heel pain that just won't go away, or any type of pain or discomfort or in need of wound care, come to where they care.
Put your best foot forward and come visit our podiatry team. We care about our patients and their feet.
That's Dr. Cheney and her team at Hope Family Podiatry Center next to Hope Family Pediatrics on the Mountain Parkway. All right, let's take just a moment and look at your Licking Valley RECC 7-day. No surprises here. We've been talking about the cold weekend and definitely the latter half of it now, 4 days, and it's still going to be that way, and we're still going to climb out of that hole to the tune of the 50s by Thanksgiving. 21 degrees tonight under partly cloudy skies, nothing more than a light westerly wind that will be becoming calm very, very soon and dying down completely. Tomorrow we'll struggle. Well, we won't. If you're lucky, you might see 40 tomorrow somewhere. We'll see some sunshine, but another breezy day in the neighborhood. Southwesterly winds 5 to 22 miles per hour. That will put wind chills way down. I know that I checked the Lexington forecast because I think the kids are going to the football game tomorrow, and I think the wind chill there was around 10 degrees for the football game tomorrow. Yeah, too cold for me. 39, though, and sunny, and albeit windy, breezy at least on your Saturday, and still colder still for your Sunday. Upper 30s to the lower 30s by the latter half of your weekend. 24 degrees that night. Sunny and still only a slight wind coming out of the west, 3 to 6. Monday, though, Thanksgiving week, we start off 48 and sunny. That's an improvement. We roll on into Tuesday and the rest of the week into the 50s. 51 Tuesday, sunny and clear. 56, mostly sunny and nice on your Wednesday. Clouds will increase Wednesday night. Temperatures well above the freezing mark, close to 40 for nighttime lows on the eve of Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving Day will hold on to the 50s and a little sunshine, with some shower chances dotted throughout your Thanksgiving Day to the tune of 50%. And that front or system actually gives us a continued chance of some showers into your Friday and then back to some cooler air into the mid-40s with still a little sunshine. But all in all, a cold weekend, a pretty nice Thanksgiving, and then a cooler weekend thereafter. And that'll do it for this evening and for this week. And Monday we'll be counting down the very short few days until the Thanksgiving holiday. And I'm sure there'll be a lot to talk about before then. So I hope you have a weekend that is just as you so choose it to be, relaxing, productive, what have you, and that we still all continue to keep those young people, not just those still in the hospital, but all of those and the bus driver in that crash in your thoughts and prayers and hearts. We continue to wish them all as speedy of a recovery as possible. Thank you all for watching. Good night. See you Monday.